Yo, yo, yo. What's happening? What's happening? I know what time it is, bruh. How we doing? I've been talking in chat already, so thanks, guys, for showing up. I'm hoping we'll get a lot of people in to talk about Soundtrap today because I've had a ton of emails. A ton of emails. So we're going to be talking mostly about Soundtrap this morning. Hopefully you guys just saw I added a classroom assignment. Death 2000 is James. Is that you? I want to make sure I know who I'm talking to. What up? I don't know. For those of you who've been on the stream the last couple days, can you tell that I'm having fun? I'm having so much fun doing this. This is way fun. Jahidi, what's up, brother? I'm so glad you showed up, man. I'm so hyped that you showed up. Yeah, really want to talk about Soundtrap mostly today and get people squared away because I think people are panicking just a little bit, which is understandable. I have not been as clear with what you should do for that as I should be, and really because I'm so unfamiliar with just working in this way in general that I'm not really sure what I want to expect from you at this point. And the more like strict the assignment I make for you, the more it's going to kill any kind of creativity that you might have around this. So those are my concerns about giving these assignments. But I also understand, on the other hand, there's lots of people who they just need, Wellman, what do I need to do? Just tell me what I need to do so I can do that and nothing else. That being said, the assignment that I gave you guys in Google Classroom was, Andres, imagine just searching YouTube and seeing this. I don't know, bro. Did you? Is that what happened? Good to see you, Andres. Thanks for popping in. Let's see. So I'm going to come back to my main screen here. So what I just shared with the class is what we did. I'm glad that you're loving it, Araceli. What I shared in Google Classroom was this, and this is what I did for fourth period during the week while we were all still there. And the way that we set this up was we started with this really simple drum track. Oh, I totally messed with this. Let's see. I'm going to go in and edit pattern. Oh yeah, because I turned this into like Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. Let's see, there's my snare, there's my kick, there's my snare. I'm gonna get rid of that. We're gonna clean this up and just make it, oops. I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of like that, but yeah, so this is the simplest thing that I did, was just to create this really, really simple drum beat. And notice how I've got up here in the corner, this is your looper. I can, whenever you're working on a drum pattern, it only lets you work in one measure. Omar, glad you did your chores before you came in. So let me, remember, you can always access that instrument by clicking right here on the side. Now, Yo, 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 yo. Really simple. So what I did here was just, I built the drum tracks first, and then I went through and just played with it on top. It is not going to be Doom IRL, man. Like, it's not going to be Doom IRL. Let me go back, because actually there was a different, I feel like this is not the one I wanted, but it is, it for sure is. Yeah, okay, let's go back. Yeah. So what I started with, okay, walk it back, Wellman. What I need from you for this very first, hold on, just 1 second, Gabe. I'll answer that question in just a minute. I want you to just try and recreate what I did here. So one way you can do that is by having this example open, which should have been shared with you through Google Classroom. If it's not, let me know so I can try and fix that. First thing you do is you can create the pattern in here. You just look at mine and see how I did it. You can just click through here and that'll show you what's up. Then that's going to create just one little audio track right here. So if I zoom way in, it'll just make just this like to right there. Can you see my search history? No. Once you've got that, you're going to use something called this looper here, and this is what allows you to just repeat that all the way across. I'm an author, man. You're going to see all kinds of like ways to murder people and things like that, because I'm always searching up weird stuff like that. Once you've created that, what I like to do is come and make a counter rhythm. That means it's in opposition to the first rhythm. And so here is that one. Right, so when you hear those together, let me mute. Okay, so there's it together. You know, this is very, very, very much a creative endeavor. I can't tell you that this is the right way. All I can tell you is the top one, I want it like this. I want it like this. This is your standard backbeat with your kick on 1, your snare on 2, kick on 3, snare on 4. And then I just have very basic hi-hat over the top. The second one is very much just, let's, be as creative as you want to be or don't want to be, but I want it to be different from the first one so that it's creating this texture. Okay, so if I play from here, just these 2 tracks. Okay, so see, it's kind of adding to that texture. Now, the second thing that I did was I added this melody. And what I did for that was I used a rhythmic synth. So when you're creating a new track, I'll do this 2 ways. I'll show you how I can get to this from a synth regularly. On Tuesday and created a similar thing for one of those lines. Sweet, dude. So whatever you're working on, told us they're extending the quarantine until May 4th. Okay, Gabe, just let me finish my thought here, and I'll address those things. You can click synth. You've got these different categories of synths you can use. The rhythmic has some sort of pulse to it, and I liked that for this specifically. You don't have to use that, but you want to have something that's gonna feel like the tempo's moving forward. I'm using this Epic chip orchestra. Whenever you see the word chip, it's gonna be that sort of video game sound. So I liked that, and you can play around with it. So you see on my screen, I'm with my keyboard. You guys are crazy. You can I can actually use my keyboard to make these sounds. And then once what I did, so let's listen to this. Oops. Okay, so I just took this really simple melody, and I'm not even sure I would call it a melody. It's more like a just an added texture. And I'm pretty sure I did this in class just by using my keyboard and recording that. You can do that by, I'm going to do it at the end here. You click the record button. The keyboard shortcut is Control Space. That's what I'm going to use, so my hand's already in position to play with it. Okay, so like I just did that. I just did that live. Exactly, James. You just now this is recorded an octave down. You can change your octave right here. So I lowered this for the bass when I recorded the bass. So once you've got this, you come into piano roll. This is where you can really dig in and start to mess with what you've written. So this first thing, that's all I recorded was this, which is just this line up here, and then I looped it. So there's my looper, right? So this is the original one. I looped it for another measure. So, oops. So you can see this is how the notes are being played. They don't start until that track goes over it. And so it's a little bit grayed out here. Could we be creative with it and still try? Yes, absolutely. Please, Jahidi. My biggest goal is that you guys get to be creative. I don't want you to, copying me is just the bare basics if you don't really understand how the program works, and you just need to try new stuff. But I would like for you to try and have at least these 4 elements, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to go through how you can, how to make them if you missed that. Does that make sense? When life makes you an Italian plumber and you can only say your name, then you will realize the suffer. Yes. Adam. Words of Wisdom by Adam. So I just added this. Now I'm going to delete this because I didn't really care for it. I'm going to come down to the kick. What I actually used here, this is an 808. Coming into instruments, 808 is it's kind of fundamental to electronic music, is using these kind of 808s. You would gladly be Mario. Even in Italy right now, man, it's rough. Actually, I guess it's made a big turn for the better recently with all the coronavirus stuff. I like the 808 because it's simultaneously, you can use it as like a kick drum, like you would in your percussion tracks, but you can also use it like you would a bass guitar. So this is the one I chose. Let's listen to just that bass line. What I did here is I clicked the headphones. What that means is to solo. That means you only hear that track. Now, let me turn the metronome on so you have some context. So you hear right there, I had this little syncopated hit. Instead of landing on the beat, bum, 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 bum. And then I just looped it. So I only had to compose one thing, and then I just looped it. And again, to loop it, you grab this thing and you just move it out. So let's hear it all together. Now the mic tracks are, let's see, are these claps or me saying yo? Yeah, me saying yo. I'm actually gonna come and, oops. There. So this was in class. I went through and I said I forget what I was saying. I was saying like subscribe to Wellman on YouTube, and just made these tracks, made this little vocal loop by cutting it down. That's a little bit more advanced, and I'm not going to require you to do something like that. So let's just listen to the beginning. If you can do everything except for a mic track, I'll be really happy with that. I'm going to turn the metronome off because the drum track gives us that tempo that we want, that beat that we want. Now, actually, as you're listening to it, you're going to make decisions about what you want to do. So one thing that I like, that I just decided, was I want to hear this sooner. I would like to hear this at least right here. So let's listen again. Oops. Yeah, I just like that textural element right there. I like it to enter sooner. Before I had it much later. I think that was probably before I had the bass line. So that's what you would call like an introduction, like a song introduction. We're not yet dealing with form, like verse, chorus, bridge, those sorts of things, which we talked about a little bit on stream yesterday. This is just how can I get familiar with what is happening. So I'm going to exit this, and I actually want to go and look at Edgar's, because he was doing a slapper yesterday. Let's see. So Gabe, are you still here? The video that I want for mariachi is I actually want a video. So I want the sound and the video together, because the goal is to, like, it's like a performance. So we want to see faces. We want to see what you're doing. Now, you might have the hardest job for this one, because everyone wanted to do Guadalajara. Gabe, I think you're gonna have to sing the whole thing. Yeah, you're gonna have to sing the whole thing. But I don't want you. I would like you to do that in 2 different videos. In fact, what I would like for you to do is do your violin, and then use that as a reference point. And actually, I think today after stream, I'm gonna record the guitar part, just so that there's a reference. I know, dude. No, that's what you get for being good at your instrument and liking to sing, man. You want something like, you don't want to be like staring into the mic, into the camera, just, off to the side. Because I'm gonna, my goal right now is to try and compile them all together, so it looks like we're all on the same screen playing together. So that's your first question. The second thing, and Angel asked me this last night, was could I do the guitar track? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go through in Soundtrap and set the tempo to 120, so it's got that that pulse, and just play like the guitar and trumpet parts, so that everyone else has a reference point to figure out what you should be doing next. So I think that'll help a lot. Yeah? No? Yeah? Yeah. No. Yeah. And then, actually, well, I say you'll be doing all the singing, but actually I want you and Lucia to do it. So we'll talk about harmonies that you guys have worked on already. Plus, I'm assuming you guys are still in contact. And if not, we can still do it separately. So let me see. Did I miss any other questions? lots about Mario. This is the shrooms. Yeah, how else do you think he grows tall, man? Let's see. All right. So awesome. Where is she? Why isn't she coming to hang out in the stream? Edgar, here we go. I'm gonna put your song up. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's hear this. Actually, I'm ready for this. Woo! Skrik! That was sick. I like that. Okay. I want more hi-hat. That's what I want when I'm listening to this. And you've got some good hi-hat, but what I want here is, and I'm wondering if we can do this. So if I go into the piano roll, let me scroll way in here. Now check it. I can now have more. And is anyone else singing too, like the guitars? Same thing if they do, we'll do it separately, but for simplicity's sake, I think I just want you two singing, honestly. Like, I know in performance we were doing the call and response, which we'll still do, we'll still work on that, but as far as for recording this, I think the fewer the better. So, Edgar, let me see here. Notice how I scrolled way in, and I know that you looped this, which is good. One thing we can do is I'm actually gonna let's hear this part. Now I like the bass hits. But I think they're better when you stay on pitch. So I'm getting a little bit ahead. I want to hear like faster. So what I can do, because I've scrolled way into this piano roll, I can actually like bring these in really tight, and we can have like some super tight percussive hi-hats. And it'll sound more like a roll, which I think would, or at least to my ear, sounded like what you were going for. Let's. Oh, okay. See, I like that right there. So let's. Whoo! That slaps. That slaps. So you can't actually do that in the pattern maker, but you have to like really dig in tight to the piano roll. Now you see your hi-hat is on the F sharp key. Yeah, it's on that F sharp key. But so the tighter you scroll in, oh, it looks like. So what are these? These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's really 16th notes. That's it? No. Oh, it's 16 per beat. So that's 132nd notes. 132nd notes. So now, because I edited it in your main track. Let's see if it does it the whole way through. Yeah. Well, 130-second notes is insanely fast, and it got what we wanted, right? And you're right, and absolutely, Soundtrap is much less versatile than GarageBand or like Logic or Ableton, which I would love to be using Ableton, but it's a little bit farther out of my expertise than I would feel comfortable teaching. Plus, it's, you know, that would mean that you guys would all have to have access to it, which we can't right now, and we won't be able to for a couple years, unfortunately. But dude, that's sick. Like, I could hear what you were going for, and I think adding that more intricate like hi-hat roll sounds really clean. And what you can do, so say you only want the roll every once in a while, right? So we can come in here, and so put your marker right in between spots. Yeah, dude, try it. I think that would work. And then let me see. If you Control E, now it splits it. So then you can loop this, and then we can alter this new one and make it slightly different. So say you only want that roll every 2 measures or something. Man, somebody is blowing my phone up right now. Okay. So let's see. Let's listen one more time. Yeah, so let's say like we just want it slightly different here. And Edgar, I'm sorry, you don't have to take any of these changes, but I am gonna kind of mess around with it. So say I want to go like. Let's try this. Okay, let's see. It did what I wanted it to, but it changed the wrong one. Let me see here. So let's see. So I'm gonna alter this one. We're gonna Command E. Boom. Now I'm gonna flip this because I want that roll first. Okay, so now I can do it and like switch it back and forth. So now I've got 2 different one of these. Whichever one you like, you can loop or you can mix them up. You can always Control C to copy and Control V to paste to move it around. The last thing I'll say is I do really like this bass line, but at this fast tempo, the attacks of each note get a little bit lost, especially when you're moving fast. So let's listen and watch here. Let's so I'm gonna come to instrument. Let's add to the attack. I want to add to the attack and see if that helps. Actually, I like that. Just no, we want. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I like that. I like that. So all I did was I came in here and kind of messed with these 3, the attack, the release, and the reverb. So Attack is, I have to remember that when I think of raising the attack, I think that it's going to have like a much sharper hit, but it's actually the reverse. So the more attack that I put on, the lighter the attack is. So like for everyone listening, I'm going to turn the attack all the way up, and it totally changes the vibe. So like you can't really hear anything at all. So now I'm going to turn it back to about where I had it. Now you can hear where it hits every time. So having that attack is just really important for any kind of hip hop or electronic music. Now release. If you turn down the release, I think that is more in line with what I wanted. You hear how like you can almost hear the clip. You can hear it just click, 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 click. The ending, the release is too sharp, so I want to add some more release. Actually, I want a little bit more. And then if I want that release to be clean, but I still want the note to ring a little bit, that's where the reverb comes in. So as I add a little bit more reverb, so let's dry it. If I dry it out, take all the reverb off. It basically stops when but let me, now it sounds like it's in like a big concert hall or something. So you hear how that I stopped it. We could still hear that note ring. But when we have that much reverb, it really loses that attack. So we don't want too much. Yeah, okay, so at first I didn't really like those double kicks, but actually the more I've listened to it, the more I really, really like it. So, good job, man. I like this a lot. I'm ready. Who are you going to find to rap over it? That's my question. Who's going to rap over this? That's what I can't wait to hear. Like, I'm getting excited just thinking about this. This is good, man. I really like it. Okay. So, let's see, what did you tell me? I was trying to line every kick. Yeah, it's totally a pain. 100% it's a pain. But that's the kind of detail you need to really be successful in this kind of industry. So, man, I keep adding things. Let's see. Omar. Let's take a look at Omar's. You already got someone? Yes. Dude, I can't wait. All right, let's take a look. Omar. We got some more jazz going on here. You finished it. Okay, try and... because this looks like the same thing I looked at yesterday. Can you try and save it and or if you're in here right now, there should be a button right where my cursor is to sync it, and let me see if it refreshes on my side. I'm gonna do, okay, let's sync. Made changes, sync. I need my sideways scroll to move faster. Okay, it doesn't look like anything has changed on my end. Let me refresh. And Omar, if you jump in chat with me right here, then I can it's in real time, whereas on the stream it's delayed pretty significantly. I wanted to come in here, and this is a cool example for you guys who haven't thought about this yet. I'm going to come into edit notes, and I'm going to take this note right here, and I'm going to extend it just a little bit more. But oops, come on. All right, so now I've made it so it goes all the way over. But what I'm going to do now is can you see this little dot right here? It's above the looper on this track. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to fade that just a little bit. So that's going to make it kind of more musical, I guess you would say. And I might need to do it more, but let's see what happens. Okay, I changed my mind. I didn't like that. So I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to bring this back. But what I wanna do is I wanna turn up a little bit more reverb on this. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. And okay. Get wrecked. I know, right? I want. Here's another thing that you can do. I haven't talked about this yet, but I think it works for yours, Omar. Is we're gonna change the velocity of this note because we want it to be a little more accented. So I'm gonna click over here, change velocity. And I'm going to, that's essentially, I want to make that note louder. Ba-da-dum. And I'm going to lower that one just a little bit. And then let's try this. Let's see what happens here. Okay. So that just gives that note a little bit of an accented feel. I can kind of bring all these down just a little bit. If you bring everything down a little bit, it makes the accented notes. Okay. Change my mind. Don't do that. That was too quiet. Yeah, so that's just a little something extras, a little more detail that you can add when you're digging into something like this. So, okay, what was the one thing you changed? Was it in the bass line that we talked about? Okay, in the transition. Okay. Okay. Now your basses are overlapping. You see this? You've got these 2 beats of overlap. Censored due to profound facts. I feel like either we need to roll this one back so that it's not conflicting. And then I would, here I'm going to Control E, Control C, Control E, and then keep this going after that. So we do, I like that little break. Okay, so then I do like this little drum break, but I want it to come back. I really want it to come back. Adam thinks it's too fast. Nobody asked you, Adam. Kidding. I like how this is a little bit slower. And I like the ascending, but this descending part that I kind of helped you with, I don't like as much anymore. Because I think you are going for a slower feel. So how could we take a breath here and slow this down? That's my question. And then we definitely need a new melody going forward. So this is a pretty good start to a song. I think we've got a lot of really good vibes. We might need to do something like it's a little bit much, I think, for me to ask you to come up with some different chord changes, because I actually really like that this bass is just keeping us in one feel, but you're using these piano harmonies to change what we're doing. How do you join the Soundtrap thing? I'm a little late. So Don, go to soundtrap.com. Go to soundtrap.com, and then you're going to go to log in, not sign up, because you already have an account through your school account. So let's just do that. Omar, I'm going to save what I did, and I'm going to let you mess with it. I really like what you've done here. I really do. And any kind of feedback I'm giving you is not, it's just because I know I can see where you are, and I want to push you to the next level. So, all right, check it out. So if you look up the top, soundtrap.com/mwellman, that's mine. If I delete this, we just go to soundtrap.well. Never mind, it takes me here. So let me see if oops. That's not what I wanted. Oh, this takes me right to the studio. That's not what I want either. Just sign up with Google. It just takes you back to when you sign up with Google. It puts me back where I last was. So then what you want to do, James, is do you have this button, Enter Studio? That's where you want to be. Enter Studio. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me see if I can... Ha 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 ha. James, so here I'm gonna... Oh, you didn't mean it as a bad thing. So, I mean, I can invite you to a collaboration and it'll pull you. meant that I continued. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So you can exit Studio and it will you can start a new track if you want. So Don, are you in? Don, are you in? Because I can do the same thing for you. Is I can come through and invite you to collaborate, and it'll pull you into Soundtrap. Hopefully through an email or something. But what's great about this is you don't have to just invite me. You can invite your classmates. So like Omar, you and Estefania can work on something together, or you and Priscilla can work on something together. You just invite them to collaborate through your email. So like, let's say I go over to, let's go into Edgar's. And you can just add a collaborator with their email. Now I'm not going to do that because this is Edgar's and it's really cool. I don't want to mess with it. Okay. So are we clear? If you're just working on the basic assignment and you're not really sure how the program works yet, I want you to just try and recreate what I shared in the assignment, and that should be on Google Classroom. You should have access to that so that you can look at it and mess with things. Whereas like what we've been working on stream is I've been messing with our chill hop Corona 19. This is the kind of weirdness that we've been getting into. Already I can start to tell that there's it's a little bit too much already for my browser. Obviously very well. Actually, except when it comes to music, I'm not well, man. I'm ill, man, because my beats are so ill. Oh God, I'm cringing on the inside. I'm cringing so hard. I want to add something like a symbol. How do you spell symbol? Come on, Wellman. Let's come over here. Yeah, they have Corona. That's. Let's all right. The only change I made to your changes is to fade. Okay. That was interesting, not precisely what I want though. Rip. don't really want to. So these are in loops, guys. The loops are super useful, and you can do a lot of composing just using the loops. I feel like I'm a little more old school, and I just want to do stuff myself. Ooh. I do something like this. Yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's edit this because I actually want these notes to end sooner. Yep. Come on. There we go. Actually, that's where I want it to end. And then we're going to go back to basically this. Oops. Let's go all the way back. Oops. Coronication, man. That's hilarious. I love that. So now we have our sound effects. I need this to up the velocity a lot. It's better. Not quite as much as I want. I'm going to turn the attack up a little bit. What's happening? What in the heck? Oh. I see what happened here. Yep, okay. Where's my pattern here? All right, so I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it there. We're gonna add it through here. Oops. Okay, so now let's go back. All right, oops. All right, so we're back at the top. So Adam, it's funny that you say that because in college, I had a nickname very similar to that. Obviously, the GOAT. Now this popcorn lead up at the top, it's not as clean as I want. I need to go through and quantize it and actually clean it up a little bit better. There's more, like I need a bigger hit, you know what I mean? There's just something missing. Just something missing. What up, Dr. Miley? Let me go through in here and let's edit these notes. Same thing. How do you change the velocity? How do you change the velocity? It's this V right here. You grab that V and then you grab the note and you move up or down. So if you move up, it makes it louder. If you move down, it makes it softer. So yeah, that's your velocity right there. Let me come back and listen to this. So notice right now, I'm just going through and really making sure that all my notes are really lined up in the grid. Because that's how I'm cleaning up the sound. Yeah, I need some kind of like, because I like this works really well. But I don't know, there's just something missing here. I feel like I need something else, and I need something else. We gotta figure it out, lads, boys, ladies, lads. Oh, my guitar's falling on me. Let's figure this out. We gotta figure this out. So let's go into our bass synth. Where's our E? Where's our E? Nope. Kind of like that. No. No. Seven strings unite. Which playthrough? Which playthrough? What up, Miley? Did you see my 8-string? I gotta pull this down for you so you can see it. I know this is like totally off topic, but you haven't seen my 8-string yet. You soloed a GR90. Oh man, I gotta get on. Okay. Sorry guys, I gotta show off my 8-string monster. You gotta check this out. This fine little point here. This fine little point. Haha, it's for fighting on stage. Yes. So E, B, E, A, D, G, B, E. Yeah, I got this in Vegas. Like, the dude I bought it from had literally sanded down the bottom, or sanded down the backside to have this gnarly point on it. So I'm like, yeah. It's tuned, okay. So the 6 strings. Normal guitar. So E, B, G, D, A, E. And then the 7th string is a B. So it's the same as a 7-string guitar. We've got that low B. And then, let's see, do I have this tuned to... Oh, and then I have it tuned to F sharp. Yeah, it's genty AF. Yeah, so... Maybe I'll plug it in later, but this is rad. I just never get to play it unless I'm trying to learn like those weird like slap guitar toes and a bossy things that I was showing you guys on Monday. So I gotta stay focused. and Joseph, don't think I forgot. I'm for sure gonna talk to you about pick technique and how to play faster. I wanted to make sure that my guitar students were prepared to go through Soundtrap and actually give me some good assignment work here. See, this just doesn't have enough attack. Like, even if I come and tweak this, like, all that's... Yeah, not really sure. Let's go back to kicks. Maybe that's what we need. We just need that hard attack. What if we play that? I don't know if it's just like reducing the sound quality or if I just... One of the problems is I can't really mix... Oh, sorry. Let me go back here so you can see what I'm doing. So I added this bad boy down here. So I just need that attack. Like, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing that attack in my life right now. Whoops. Undo that. And then I'm gonna... Velocity! Alright, let's try this. Maybe I just need like a snare on that downbeat too. Oh, yeah, actually, okay. Let me go through here. I'm gonna delete that because that is the wrong one. This is what we need. And then when we come back over here, Control E, right here, Control E, and then delete. Ooh. So I need more. Give me this bad boy. So what if I do this? Now, so like what we did with Edgar's track, I wanna come through and I'm actually gonna edit this. I'm gonna edit this bad boy. Yeah. Oh, no. I want to go into the piano roll so we can dig right into these hi-hats. So let me... Oops. So I'm narrowing this down. I'm narrowing down the loopers so that I can just mess with this. I'm going to lower the tempo down to audio adjust. Would you like to adjust your audio? Cancel. Okay, I don't want to mess with that. I'm not going to mess with that. Burp. Not what I wanted. On a lot of other DAWs, you can use your F function keys to change, and apparently on this one you can't. So that's what I was trying to do. Ooh. This just seems funky now. Yeah, I am deep in concentration. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's see what I did here. And then right here, actually, I think I want that same pattern. So I'm gonna cut this one. And I'm gonna take this, copy, boom, paste. There. Now I've got that repeating pattern here. So it's kind of hard to hear, to be honest. And so now this empty space I don't like as much, so we're going to come up to this guy and we're going to, yeah, okay, now that was basically nonsense, because all I wanted to do was, to be able to mess with the piano roll, you have to have, can I get an octave in there? Where do you want the octaves? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to put in here. But I want to move all this. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna make this really simple, but we're gonna extend it out to like quarter notes here. All right, let's see what happens here. Bum, 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 bum. Actually, I like it faster. Yeah, I'm gonna add some kind of melodic section there, but I'm not sure what yet because it's heavy. I almost want you know, this is where like some serious vocal work would come in. Dun, dun, dun. Let's just take this and we're going to slide it over because I only want it to be that long. And actually, I want there to be more space. So I'm just going to shorten these notes so that they don't last as long. And I can come through to instrument and I'm gonna, let's tweak this. I'm going to actually increase the attack because I want it to be too much. Rip. Yeah, it's a work in progress for sure. Yeah, it just looks something a little simple. It doesn't need to be too complicated, but there's something about this sound I don't. Let's raise that in the mix. Okay. Come over here. Volume's all the way up. Okay, come back to here. Do your homework, bro. That's right, Joseph. Just you could do your homework with the stream on, right? And then when I start talking guitar again, you'll be like, "Oh, Wellman's talking to me." Let's reduce the delay a little bit. Yeah, that's better. to turn the reverb up. And we're going to fade it out just a little bit. Yeah. All right. The simple stuff. The thing about any kind of composition is it's really it's nitty gritty. Like you have to be very detail oriented when you're thinking about this kind of stuff. I mean, at least I do. I've got a lot more experience than you guys, obviously, but this is sort of, even this, I look at this and I'm being pretty basic for what I could be doing. So just got to be aware. But one thing I want you to see is that I have pretty clearly defined sections. You know what I mean? Oops, turn that off. You can see I've got, this is like an introduction. I add our first little melody. Then here we have we have this bass drop, and then boom, we come in with a harder, like chorusy feel, and then we come back out into that original, like versey feel. And actually, I can take this, and I can add it here. So now it's feeling more and more like, okay, we've got repeating sections, and it's starting to feel like verse chorus. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Let's hear how this is working out. And you know what? Already I can tell you I'm feeling like a swell there. I want some kind of, and I'm gonna look over here in my loops because I know we heard lots of. I mean, there you go. Is that? Oh, that's already what I have. So like, let's just bring this over here. So. Uh-oh. Now I want kind of the reverse wave here happening. Where's my sound effects? Now I would have to change this because we're in a minor key. So anything, we're in about E minor. So when I change the key, I know we're in E minor. So I just, woo, undo that. I'm not ready for that yet. So if I'm just trying stuff right now, guys, so. Let's see. Again, to do this, if you want to cut up your tracks, it's Control E. Control E is how you do it. Okay, so Now, remember, I know my chord progression because we went through and we analyzed it. So that's how I knew what key I needed this this percussion trembling thing in. If I wanted to go through and say do this for every chord, I would have to change. Well, how would I do that? Because I don't think I could change the key for every pitch. You don't know if you made the descending part worse or better. Well, let me check. Let me check. Because I'm starting to get a little bit fatigued. See, how do you delete the track? Shift backspace. So I'm clicking this one, shift backspace. All right, cool. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take a quick break because I need to use the restroom. So I'll be right back. Right back. I'm back. Um, so F in the chat, rip. Thanks, Dr. Miley. Thanks for coming by. Always a pleasure. Daniel. Yeah, just what you can do is you can take when you, so like up here in the corner, you can share, and just like M Wellman. That should that should invite me. Um, or a lot of times you can get a link, and when you go to turn in, um, well, I'm not sure honestly. Is there a if on the Soundtrap side, is there a place to because I created an assignment, and the assignment will be in Google Classroom, but it should also be in Soundtrap. I don't know exactly. I want it in Google Classroom, so you tell me. You tell me what you're able to do, or if I need to like add a like a blank document, and you just post a link to the document, or if you just share it by inviting me as a collaborator, so you can invite. Same thing, M. Wellman at Delhi USD. But sharing it should be the same way, M. Wellman at USD.org, and that should bring it up. So let's see. Where was I? Oh, Omar, I was going to check on yours. So we're going to exit studio. Yes. So that song you're going to submit using a video. I want you to videotape yourself playing, and then you're going to submit it just like we did with all of our other assignments that I had you video. So you do it on Google Classroom. So make sure you have Google Classroom on your phone, and just upload the video directly to Google Classroom. Or if you're using your Chromebook, same thing. You do it right on your Chromebook and then upload it directly to Google Classroom. I need a video though. I need to see what you're doing so that I can help. And now, did you see the rubric? You're gonna submit it. There's 2 different assignments, and so in Google Classroom you should have a section that's for guitar performances or guitar projects. You're gonna submit that through that assignment. Everyone who's doing the Soundtrap stuff is gonna submit it through a different one. And if you look on Classroom, in fact, let me pull this up because I did want to talk about the rubric. Because part of the rubric is actually, let's just go through this rubric really quick. So for those of you doing guitar projects, we've got 4 sections: purpose and goal setting, self-assessment, tempo, and pitch and rhythmic accuracy. So the most points come from your self-assessment. So when you do a video, you have to take some time at the beginning or the end of the video to talk to me about what has been happening. So this is the most important part for me being able to give you feedback, because I'm not there to see you play every day. I don't know what your process is like, and so I need you to be able to reflect on what you're doing, because that's going to help you play. So self-assessment is the ability to reflect on what you've accomplished, the good and the bad. That's really important, because I don't want to just know how bad you are. I want to know what you think you succeeded at. It means being honest about your progress and setting goals for how to get where you're going next. So that means that you have to back up here with your goal setting and your planning. You have to know where you're going and what your goal is. If you're unsure, it requires the humility to ask for help. So Daniel, just like you're here asking me about how to turn something in, if you're having a problem with what you're playing before submission time, coming in and asking me about it. So to get a 10 in this, student can clearly and articulately describe their strengths and shortcomings and align them with their goals coming back up to this first part. Okay, 1 second, Joseph. I will address that in a minute. When student was unsure of what to do next, they reached out for help with specific questions. Student honestly addresses their practice routine, always looking for ways to grow. So that's how you get a 10. So say you practice something and you said, all right, here's what I was working on this requinto for some sereno song. I got the beginning part really well. I feel like my left and right hands are really, really well aligned. You might even play me the example again. Where I have a hard time is choosing an appropriate tempo because I'm listening to the song and they're playing it really fast, and it's hard for me to slow it down with the metronome to know how to play it in time. So that's an honest assessment of what you're doing. I wasn't sure what to do, so I came on stream on Thursday afternoon and said, "Hey Wellman, here's my song. Can you look at this part and play it for me on stream?" And you did, and you helped me out, and that, this and that. I'm practicing about 10 minutes every day right before I go to bed, and it's not really where I want it to be, so I think I should probably practice more. Okay, that is a level 10 self-assessment. That's a 10-point self-assessment. The difference between that and a 9, so a student can clearly and articulately describe their strengths and shortcomings aligned with their goals. When student is unsure of what to do next, they reached out for help with vague questions because they hadn't reflected on what the problem was. So, Wellman, I can't play this part. Okay, well, what about it can't you play? Is it you can't play it because you're not sure how it goes, you're not sure where your fingers go? Can you not play it because you can't really hear the tempo and accurately describe what's happening with the tempo? Or can you not play it because it's too fast, right? So those are all different problems. Or can you not play it because your guitar's out of tune and it just doesn't sound right? Those are all different problems. And because of this medium, because this is the only way that I can talk to you and help you from far away, I need you to try and be as accurate with your questioning as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard for me to help. Everything else is the same. So to get 5 points, student can describe their strengths and shortcomings and align them with their goal. Okay, but maybe not accurately. Maybe you're not using academic vocabulary yet. You're just using, you're being kind of vague. You're not really sure. You know what your strengths and weaknesses are, but you're having trouble telling me about them. When student has a problem, it was vague. And you're like, you tell me about your practice routine. I practiced like 10 minutes today. And that's it. So making sure that you're talking about your practice routine is a part of this rubric. And I don't need it written. I just want you to tell me about it on video. So this should all just happen at once. You play for me, and then you kind of talk to me for 1 or 2 minutes at the end. To get a 5, I just talked about 5. To get a 3, student only focuses on their strengths or their shortcomings. They did not reach out for help, but they still talk about their practice routine. And a 1 is you're not sure even how to talk about it, or you don't talk about it at all. And I tried to be as detailed as I could within these sections so that you could look at it and really figure out what's what. So any questions about that? Everything else, so make sure you're setting a goal. Maybe I think at the beginning of the video, this is what I'm working on. This is where I want it to be. This is what I'm working on. This is where I want to be. And because of that, I focused on this. Then you play for me, and then you talk to me about your self-assessment. Okay, tempo. Make sure you're using a metronome. Use a metronome. Use a metronome. Use a metronome. Use a metronome. Google metronome, and a metronome pops up. You find where that pulse is, and you play with that pulse. If it's too fast, what I would probably do is try and play the metronome with the song, just so you have an idea of what the tempo is, and then slow it down from there until it gets to a point where you can play with it. And then your rhythmic and pitch accuracy. These are like the bulk of the musical parts, but your ability to reflect on how you're practicing is the most important, because that's how you get better. It's just how you get better. any questions about this, let me know. I tried to be as detailed as I can, but I can see how it might be confusing. So, okay. Joseph, your camera doesn't work. On your Chromebook, is there a way you could use your phone? Is there a way you could use your phone? Or is there a way you can... I know there's a... you can still get with tech support at school from remotely. So I'm not sure how you guys do that. We have a ticket system where we submit online what the problem is, and then they respond to us with how they can deal with it. So if you're trying to get it on your Chromebook, you might have to figure out a way to do that. If you're unsure how to do that, I will contact the office and try and figure that out for you. Otherwise, same with people using their phones. Download Google Classroom on your phone, sign into your school account so that you're using Google Classroom that way, and then submit your video that way using your phone's camera. Or maybe you have to ask to use mom or dad's phone. That makes sense? There you go. That's just what I would do. Especially because if you're at home, hopefully you have your own internet service so that you're not having to use your data on your phone. Because I know that's the biggest pain. It's the biggest pain in the butt. So let's go down here. I'm going to check in on Omar. We added a fade on the drum track. Okay. I don't know. I think you're probably still working on it, and I don't have access to what you're doing right now. So, because I'm not seeing anything changed. So, all right. What else? Araceli, have you tried any of this? Have you jumped in and tried any of this stuff? I'm still waiting on you to throw down and show me what kind of nonsense you've been doing. Let's see. If you're wondering about a metronome too, I really like this metronome just because it's kind of soft and it doesn't drive me crazy over hours of practicing. I hope that's not super loud for you guys, but this is what I use when I'm practicing. You just choose your tempo here, and there's no accented beats, which I really like, which means I can play as needed. I want to see it. Share it with me. Let's see it. Right. So I use metronomes all the time. Well, you might have more of an idea what you're doing than you think, because you've been here for 3 days listening to what I've been doing. Playing around is how you start learning something, is by playing. You learn by playing. I'm going to turn on my amp here, play some guitar, because that's just kind of where I am right now. And I promised Joseph I would talk about picking technique. So I'm going to do that. I still want to see what you're doing, Araceli, so let me know. Let me know. Because I'm going to show you right now. Joseph, are you here still? Are you here still, Joseph? So, like, these are 16th notes. All they do is... Yes, Omar. Yes. Yes, dude. That is an excellent fifth period inside joke. Thank you, Omar. So, I'm gonna set this to 80, and then I'm gonna go to my full screen camera and bring this down so you can see just what I'm doing here. Just what I'm doing here. So, okay, so I know this is 16th notes that I'm playing. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So I'm measuring what I want to get better at. So I know that I can play it pretty well at 80. So I'm going to up the metronome. So on this metronome I was just showing you right here, I'm just going to up it by one tick. So that's 4 BPM. 4 BPM. Then I'm going to do it again. And if I can't do it, I'm just going to work on one small section. So okay. So I felt like that was okay, so I'm going to up it again. Okay, so I do want to just, I'm going to jump up a little bit. I'm going to jump up to 100, because 100 is about where I start having a little bit of trouble. Okay, so that was okay, but I'm moving slowly up. So this exercise should be about 120, and 100 that felt pretty good. Like I should probably practice at 100 more, because I'm going to tell you right now, if I try it at 120, it's just not going to sound good. So like it's just not cutting it. I'm not fast enough with this hand to keep up with my left hand. But I can practice in little short bursts and see if I can keep up. But that's way too fast for me right now. So if I come back down, I'll come back down to 104. So a little bit faster than 100, but way slower than 120. So I can keep up. but it's not, it's still not as clean as I would like it to be. And so that just tells me I need practice. Now, I know that I'm playing some more kind of heavy metal style guitar right now, which is not really what you're looking to play. But there's a couple really important things for you to think about if you're playing sereno or you're playing mariachi, right? One of the things is again, your pick angle. Your pick angle. So in sereno music, you have a very, very downward slanted pick angle. So, right, I'm holding it like this, right? You don't want to be like this. You don't even want to be flat. You're really low because you're doing only downstrokes unless you're playing those triplets. And then that downward angle serves you because when you come down through that second string and you come up, you're already underneath it. Whereas if you were like this, you'd have to, you're coming out away from the string. You want to be going into the string. So that's what your pick angle has to do with. Like, right? So to figure out what this is about. I'm trying to find the tempo here. The way I'm finding it is by thinking it through in my head as I'm. That's way too fast. So that's way too fast. So that, I mean, like, that's too fast for me. That's maybe faster than the song is being played, but not by much. So I'm going to slow it way down. Right now I'm at 66. And now I'm just playing, and Joseph, I know I'm not playing anything that you're working on, but I'm trying to show you examples of how I get to where I'm practicing and where I'm accurately practicing. Now, that's about tempo. That's about tempo. If I'm working on how to play this, I am not going to play it that fast. I'm going to slow it way down. Now notice it was a bit of a process for me to figure out what the tempo was. So again, I'm focusing in on my right hand here. Let me just bring it back up to full size. Down just a little bit. Now I can tell you right now that that was not very clean. I didn't like how that sounded. It wasn't, I might have felt good because I did it, but it wasn't right. So I'm gonna tell you just for that section right there, I need to slow down even more. I think I even need to slow down even more. Okay, so that's how I would go about that. That felt comfortable for me. Right now, that's at 48. That's at 48. It's pretty slow, but it was clean. And so once I've gotten that, and I've nailed down what the hard parts are, so I know that this triplet pattern here. So not clean enough. Notice I haven't really talked about my picking technique. I've only been talking about the metronome. Because unless you can find where you are, you don't know where you're going. It's like having a map. If you know where you're supposed to go and you can see where you're supposed to go on the map, but you don't know where you are, how are you going to ever get there? You have to know where you are to be able to orient yourself where you're going. So that's why if you go to the mall and you look at a map of the mall, it always says you are here. Because if you don't know where you are, you can't figure out where you're going, even if you know your destination. So your destination is, I want to play fast. Okay, but what are you playing right now? That's the point. So before we can even really dig into specific picking techniques, again, turn off the metronome because I think I made my point. All right, Omar, thanks for sticking around, man. So let me see if you can see how, like, my thumb is holding the pick on the string, and that's how downward angle it is. Like, you see how my wrist is bent, you know. For Serenio music, you're just so right, you're just I'm using all downstrokes. So if I pull out a little bit, this is all from the wrist. I don't want to be using my arm, my elbow at all. And I especially don't want to be using my arm, right? So the smaller your motion, the faster you can play. That's the other thing. But, and this is a huge but, okay, chill, Wellman, is you have to practice that. So you might, hold on, Adam, I'll give you some recommendations in a minute. See how I'm not even using my whole hand. I'm just using my thumb and my index finger. And I've got these fingers resting on the top of the guitar because that's what brain when I realized I can hold an attack with Frostgrass. Are you playing Wizard? Are you playing Wizard? Okay. Hold on. I'll talk about Diablo in a minute because I do want to end with something kind of a little more fun. But when we're just doing downstrokes, even when you're playing scales, so like. Notice my picking hand. It's hand, but it's mostly fingers. Now then the issue is, are you lining it up with your left hand? So, and this is where you're really going to get slowed down. Is are you synchronized? And with chords, it's really a matter of just knowing where your bass notes are. And having this anchor really helps because it gives you this spatial relationship that you don't have if you're just free floating. Now, when I'm playing metal, my anchor is actually up here, and sometimes I switch it to down here. And actually, I'm actually trying to break this habit because my fingers get in the way of shredding. So if I can, it's something that I'm working on. That's something that I'm practicing. You know, so like I'm always trying to get better. So. But even that, like, it doesn't make sense unless I'm using a metronome. So let me put it up at 80. Right? Now the one that personally I'm struggling with the most is doing string skips, which is a lot more advanced, but say it's like I can't even play it this fast. I have to go down to like 60. And already, like, my hands aren't synchronized very well. When you're string skipping, that means that you're moving from one string, hopping over another string. Okay, so I'm going from the third string to the first string here. And it's just not a technique I've practiced a whole lot, and it's really difficult for me. And along with that, I'm trying not to rest my hand on the top of the guitar, because now I'm seeing how it's getting in my way. And now this is a difference between electric guitar and something like 12-string guitar. Is I'm not super concerned. You can kind of move down on an acoustic guitar to get to where you're going, but I've got like knobs and stuff in the way, so I have to be a little more intentional. And I'm doing this is Whereas in Sereno, you're doing all downstrokes most of the time. It's pretty rare that you're alternate picking, but in electric guitar you're always alternate picking. So down, up, down, and as I do the string skip, that's a downstroke, and I have to hop over that string, and then do an upstroke here, and then a downstroke back on the third string. So that's what's weird. I can't play it that fast, so I gotta jump down. And it's important, it's really important to be honest with yourself about what you're doing. Okay, so I feel like that's 54. I feel like I'm pretty good with that. Now if I jump up, I'm only going up one tick every time because I don't want to. You gotta get rid of your ego and think you can just go like lightning speed from the start. And already I'm not getting that string transition. Now for the first several of those, my hands weren't lined up. So my speed issue was not that my left hand was slow, was not that my right hand was slow. It was that they weren't sunk together. Now I'm also doing an upstroke here, and I have to do a downstroke there, but oftentimes what I'm hearing happen is I'm going up, up, which is wrong. And it's gonna mess me up in the future because I'm not gonna have the consistency. And consistency it's the key to speed, consistency. And you can't be consistent if you don't have a metronome. Use your metronome. There, so I'm just practicing upstroke and downstroke. See how I had to do double down because I messed it up? There we go. Now I did a pull off there instead of a pick, so. Now I'm reaching too far back because I'm focusing so much on my right hand. So I had it there quite a few times, but it took me a while to get there. That doesn't say to me that I'm ready to go faster. It tells me that I need to take a little bit, like a 30-second break, and then try it again. Because again, it's all about consistency. If you can't do it the first 2 times, but you get it the 3rd time and every time after that, you're still not ready to go on. Just because you've kind of warmed up into the motion, you've got to be able to do it the first time. And that is something that everybody overlooks. I overlook it. It's just one of those things. That was a little bit better, but again, it was important that I take that break because without it, I'm not really addressing what it is to start at it cold. And I can tell you just from doing this for what, maybe 10 minutes, like I'm right here, I'm feeling it. Like this is a workout. This is a workout. So. Okay, I feel a lot better about that, and I'm getting a little bit impatient. I'm gonna speed up because I'm already starting to feel the burn. So this is, imagine you're going to the gym every day and you want to practice your max outs. You want to max out, okay? You can only do it once, but with music you have to work up to it a little bit. So. I'm playing an upstroke here. Mm. Oh man. So you have to be really, really detail oriented, just like when we were doing our compositions. No, I'm not even close to the metronome right now, and that's frustrating because I'm focusing so much on one thing that I'm not able to think about another. So, and that's a perfect indication of why you have to slow down. So, okay, I wasn't able to do it because I couldn't even focus on all the things that I need to be focused on at that time. So I have to slow down. Gives my brain more time to think about all the problems that I'm trying to solve at once. I did it again. I did down and then an up. Aha, I did down and up, yeah. Let's see. Sometimes you need to slow down enough so that you can, so I basically just did it at half tempo. Instead of 6 notes per beat, I did it with 3. Da 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 da, instead of notice how I talk about this in class a lot, especially in guitar class, is you got to be able to sing what you're doing. You just have to. Okay, so I feel pretty good about that. Let me try and speed it up a little bit now. So again, this is nitty gritty practice work. Really, like, all I'm focusing on is I want to be able to play string skips. So I'm practicing string skips. Say I wanted to practice sweep arpeggios, I would only be practicing sweep arpeggios. And you gotta schedule the time to do just those things. Now, not to say that you can't learn techniques just from playing the music that you want to play. I think that is the majority of the value for someone like you, Joseph, or really anybody in chat, is you're going to learn the techniques by playing it in the music, but you have to focus in on that part of the music to learn the technique. So okay, I actually think I was going a little bit faster. So just by putting in that little bit of practice time, all of a sudden, by being patient, now I'm past where I was just having a pretty serious plateau I couldn't get over. Now let's see if I can do it here. Da 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 da. Okay, I mean, there we go. We'll speed it up a little bit. And because I was patient at the tempo that I needed to be patient at, I'm making a pretty significant breakthrough right now. So I felt like my right hand was pretty solid, but my left hand wasn't really keeping up. So now I need to really focus in on my left hand to make sure that that's what's going on. Okay, so it's not great, but it's still massive progress. If I kind of, you're gonna see my concentrating face, because just seeing my guitar is one thing, but I'm totally zoned out. I'm totally zoned out. I will look at what hand needs to be looked at if I think it'll help. But at the point I am right now, I'm just completely zoned out, like basically just looking at the table. Notice how my head's bobbing to that tempo. Now I know it's... Okay, so, I mean, feeling okay. Feeling okay. Gonna speed up a little bit more. I know I'm going long, but I get to practice now, so this is kind of fun. And I'm like, already, I feel pretty comfortable with that. Pretty comfortable. The more patient I am and stick to the places where I'm having trouble, the faster I can get better. And the faster I can get better, the faster I can play faster. But if you don't start slow, it's just going to be slop chop all the way through. Now I'm telling you, as I get faster, the tighter my motions get. So my right hand is tightening up. I don't mean it's tensing up, but like my motions are getting more efficient. That efficiency of motion is everything. So it's happening in my right hand. It's also happening in my left hand, and I can feel it right now because I'm at 70 BPM, and I had to start at 54. So I've gone almost a little bit over 15 beats per minute faster. That's a huge thing to overcome in just a couple minutes. So this is 72. The other thing I want to point out is when I come back to play this again, because you got to think about this like exercise, I won't be able to play it this fast right off the bat. I'll have to start slower and work my way back up to it. And that's just kind of how practice works. You're not going to get to the speed you want to be and then be able to just immediately jump into that speed. You have to kind of work into it. And the more that you do that, the faster you can play, the better you're able to play at a faster tempo much earlier. So see, now here's the issue, is that sounds okay, but I can tell that I'm going from a downstroke, skipping a string, to an upstroke, skipping a string, back to another upstroke, which is wrong. And it may feel like it's okay right now because I'm playing it okay, but the faster I get and I don't address that mistake, it's always going to be there, and it's always going to be there to trip me up. So I'm going to slow down. I slowed it down two dots. I can tell you right now, I'm already chowing it. Okay, so that's back at 66, and honestly, that's about as fast as I think I can do it right now. But it's still a massive improvement over where I started from. And being able to measure those is how you're going to... Measuring your own growth is how you're going to stay interested in your pursuit of your art. That's just... I've learned that to be true in music, in writing, in composition, in teaching, in weightlifting, anything like that. If you can measure what you're working on, that's how you're going to be getting better at it. That's how you're going to be getting better at it. Just period. The end. So, yeah, Adam. Hold shift to attack keeps you in the same spot, which really helps if you're playing a ranged class like a wizard or demon hunter or sometimes necromancer. Yeah, definitely helps. What else? You need to turn on elective mode in your options because that makes it so that you can use any skill in any slot instead of having to only use the skills slotted for those buttons, because the higher level builds require you to be in elective mode. You're not going to always use every type of ability. And if you go to if you use Icy Veins is a good place to look at builds for different classes, and it kind of helps you figure out what kind of gear you're looking for. It's what I use most of the time. YouTube channel, guy by the name of Riker does a lot of stuff. Yes, I do have a Nintendo Switch, Joseph. Riker is who I look at to kind of decide what class I want to play every season, because he kind of goes through and ranks what each build is going to be like. But you have to really you gotta grind, man. Diablo is all about that grind. If this is your first time playing, so play through the campaign. Campaign's fun, but when you really are ready to start leveling, you want to do adventure mode and do bounties, because you get more experience from bounties. You also get gear a little bit faster. When you get gear faster, you can up the difficulty. If you up the difficulty, you get higher experience and you get better gear drops, which means that you're going to more quickly be able to up the difficulty. So in endgame, you want to be all the way on, I think they have Torment 16 or 17 is the highest level difficulty, because that's going to help you grind gear and Paragon levels the fastest, until you can really start doing higher level greater rifts, which lets you level up your gems. And your gems really help you push you into endgame, and doing higher level greater rifts is where the competitive aspect of Diablo 3 comes into play. I don't play Super Smash Bros. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing, unfortunately. But I know a lot of people have a lot of fun playing Smash Bros. I play right now on my Switch. I'm playing Dragon Quest 11 and Fire Emblem Three Houses. Those are the two I'm playing. I'm also playing Diablo 3 on Switch, because with two kids at home, it's a lot easier for me to play my Switch than to come into my office and play on my PC. That's just the reality of children. So so how we doing, guys? Okay. Yeah. You know what? I meant to remind you guys. How many of you are you going to school to eat? Oh, I've seen this. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm already looking at something else. Which one, Joseph? Which game is fun? Are you talking about Smash Brothers still? So I'm going to kind of just sit here and relax with you guys for another 10-ish minutes. Still haven't done your homework. Come on, man. You gotta get that homework done, dude. Yeah. You go. Yeah, for sure. Make sure you go and eat while you can, because I think they've closed already, but if I need to change my stream time so that people can go and eat, I'll do that. Because I've noticed right about 11:15, I really start to lose people. Diablo. Yeah, Diablo's super fun. I do. But every season I jump on and play. I have some other friends who play quite a bit. Right now, though, honestly, I'm playing mostly Clash of Clans. Again, because it's easier to play stuff on a mobile device than to come in here and hide on my PC. I'm pretty pleased with where this is coming along. I think this is going to be pretty fun. So you go. Do they? Is the room open so you can go practice at school? All right, Adoseli, thanks for hanging out. Always a pleasure. I'm going to sign off here in just a little bit. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Well, Joseph, did my explanation about guitar stuff help? That's just how I think about. That's how I think about stuff like that. And it's not necessarily the best thing for everyone, but it definitely helps me. I also, even at my level, I'm constantly looking for other people who are better than me. So I'm always on YouTube looking for better players than me. Because the problem that we all have with learning is you don't know what you don't know, if that makes sense. So even if you would consider me an expert, that's always an issue. That's always an issue. Is good. I'm glad it helped. But you saw how focused I was in that practice. It takes that level of practice to really be thinking it out. Yeah. So I don't know who else is here in chat, but I've almost been streaming for 3 hours, so I'm gonna stop here. Shoot me emails. Shoot me comments. Shoot me anything. If you have a video request, I know that I've had some mariachi guys ask me to play their parts and post videos, so I'll try and do that. And yeah, we'll see how we do, guys. Appreciate all your hard work. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. I definitely miss seeing everybody. It's nice to have you come into the stream and just hang out with me for a while. It makes me feel like things are normal, so I really appreciate that. I'm gonna play some music, put on the end screen, and I'll still be in chat for a couple minutes. So Later!